Face Watch, Mr. Heavyweight Boxing today.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Chris, the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing today.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man, so I did not get a chance to do a video over the last week or so I'm just going to consolidate all these topics into one video instead of breaking them up into individual videos, man. So the first topic I want to talk about is Adam Kownacki reportedly headed for a fight with Robert Helenius this summer on PBC, and this was according to Bad Left Hook. All right, now again, it's not set in stone, it's just being rumored right now. You know, I would have rather Adam took his chance, you know, taking the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, but that's neither here nor there. You know, they chose otherwise. But as far as this fight with Helenius, I think it's a decent style matchup because you're going to have a big, tall, rangy fighter and Robert Helenius taking on the shorter pressure guy that wants to come in, attack the body, put up the high guard, you know, take 2 or 3 punches to land his 2 or 3 punches. We know how Kownacki fights. All right, I've even seen him get touched up by Lago Keladze before he ended up stopping him. All right, so he is there to be hit. You don't have to go looking for him. But one thing about Robert, man, is he's fought a lot of pressure type fighters in his career. Samuel Peter, I know it's the older Samuel Peter, but Derek Chisora, Erkin Tepper. Who else did he fight, man? That was a pressure guy. Even the guy who he fought after he lost his fight to Dillian Whyte. I mean, Dillian Whyte puts on pressure a little bit too, but you know, but Dillian likes to box sometimes, use his jab. He likes to go to war with you though. But the guy who he fought after his loss to Dillian Whyte, Yuri by Cost, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's last name, so we'll just call him Yuri, his first name, all right? But even that guy was putting some pressure on Robert Helenius, man, pushing him backwards, getting him against the ropes. I thought Yuri was kind of smothering and suffocating his own work at times by just staying so close to Robert, instead of just getting a little bit of space to open up. But that first fight, man, I thought Yuri possibly could have won that one. And then the second fight, I thought was another hard-earned victory by Helenius in that fight, too, that was kind of iffy, all right? I know Robert has suffered some injuries, man. You know what I mean? But I think the best way for him to beat Kownacki is to use his jab, stay on the outside. When Adam comes close, throw a big right hand, because he's going to be there to be hit. All right, so just Hail Mary with the big right hand and come across back with the left hook. Hold him on the inside. Wait for the ref to break you. Why I say that? Because Lena's not a great inside fighter, so why even try to go to war on the inside if that's not your game? Another guy to put pressure on Helenius in a style, in a manner that I think Adam will utilize if they were to fight was Johan Dubois. Strictly high guard, coming in close, trying to land big overhand rights and left hooks and uppercuts, all right? So if they were to fight, I think Adam will revert to that style. And I think that to sully that, I think that Robert Helenius needs to use that big jab, stay on the outside, and do some things he did in the Chisora fight and the Erkin Tepper fights and all the fights where he had to face pressure guys, all right? Even Chisora was able to get him against that ropes too, man. So I think, you know, good style clash, you know what I mean? Another fight that was made that's going to be official, and it will be on the Dillian Whyte Oscar Rivas undercard, is Dave Allen versus David Price. I like the fight, you know, and this is a fight that I thought should have been made after both of these guys fought their last fights, when Price fought Cash Ali and Dave Allen was able to knock out Lucas Brown with a body shot, all right? This video right here, though, I did it in August 14th, 2018. All right, and this is when Dave Allen came out with his hit list, and he said Robert Helenius, Lucas Brown, David Price, Dylan Carmen, and Nick Webb. All right, the rematch with Nick Webb. All right, so he's getting kind of what he wanted, man. You know, it's you know, funny how, you know, after you know, close to a year goes by and you're getting the fights that you want. These are guys who he's been calling out. Nick Webb isn't a rematch that necessarily has to happen. Webb just dropped another fight after the his loss to Dave Allen. Dylan Carmen just dropped the fight. Who did he lose to? Evgeny Romanov, the guy that beat or that footage on YouTube of him knocking out Wilder in the amateurs. He just lost to him. So he beat Lucas Brown with a body shot. He got that fight, and now he's getting his Price fight. Helenius, I just talked about Helenius possibly fighting Kownacki. So again, the Webb rematch doesn't necessarily have to happen. He beat him. He beat Brown, and now he's trying to beat Price, man. So it's good that, you know, Allen is getting these fights. You know, he's been there with, you know, some of the who's who damn near, man. Been there with Dillian Whyte, Luis Ortiz, even Tony Yoka, you know what I mean? The up-and-coming gold medalist. You know what I mean? But this fight right here, the styles, man, is going to be a good fight. I'm picking Dave Allen to win this fight. I think that he is going to beat David Price the way that David Price loses a lot of his fights. And that's when it gets to mid to late fight, he starts to gas, tire out. He's looking to hold. He's exhausted. And he's just going to war when he's in exhaustion. All right. And I think Allen's going to, I think he has good upper body movement. I think it's underrated, his upper body and his head movement. Sometimes I think he does it too much and he falls into sparring partner modes in some of his fights, especially the fight with Dillian Whyte and Luis Ortiz. But then there's some fights where he just goes out there and he just goes for it, man. The Nick Webb fight, the fight with Lucas Brown. So he has good moments, man. You know what I mean? He has really good moments, and I think this will be another good moment for him. And he just has the momentum right now. Dave Allen just has momentum right now, man. He came in shape his last fight against Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown came in shape as well. But you know, I know he's feeling himself right now with these body shot stoppages that he's getting. He had one against Lucas Brown. Then he had one against what was the dude's name? Samir Samir. You guys know who I'm talking about. But he stopped him with a left hook as well to the body. I believe it was, left hook to the body. I believe it was a left hook. But you know what I mean? So I know he's feeling himself right now with these body shot stoppages, man. This is a fight that he's been wanting, fight he's been calling out, style wise. I just don't know what type of David Price is going to show up. I know he's going to most likely tire down the stretch, but I don't know if he's going to be aggressive where he's sitting down and he's coming forward with his jab and he's sitting down with big right hands and left hooks, or if he'll do the back foot thing like he did against Kamil Sokolowski, where he's almost looking like a watered down version of Tyson Fury almost, where he's throwing a probing jab and he's off the back foot, trying to just land trying to pepper you with shots instead of sitting down and turning into big hard shots. All right. If Dave Allen puts up the high guard without any head movement, I can see Price catching him and possibly dropping him and hurting him. Allen possibly could get up, but I see him getting dropped and hurt if he just comes in just strictly high guard with no head movement, or at least coming in behind the jab or something that'll make David Price, stay aware and something he has to worry about coming back at him. All right. But if Dave Allen uses some head movement, make a big man like Price miss here and there, and help him tire himself by missing big shots because you're moving your head and you're moving your upper body, that'll make it hard for Price. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with Dave Allen in this fight, man, just based on their styles. I think he'll try to attack the body. I think he'll have the upper body movement. He'll make Pricey miss. I think Price will have his moments, but I see him getting stopped down the stretch in that fight, man. Good matchup, though. Dillian Whyte, Oscar Rivas. We all know that this fight was being talked about like over a week ago. Salute to you guys for leaving a thumbs up on that video that I did about this fight. I said if I get over 100 likes that I would do a heavy bag breakdown. Last I checked, I was at 120 likes, man. So salute to you guys. We'll be doing a breakdown on this fight. But I like the fight. I liked it when it was first announced. As far as the pressure, though, man, Dillian Whyte, looked like his stomach was sticking out just a little bit. I know he has a couple months to get ready to get in prime time shape, man. But it looked like he's probably just a little bit overweight. You know what I mean? I know he's not in he wasn't in full-blown training camp prior. So, but it looked like he was a little bit heavy at the weigh-in. But I expect him to get in that gym and turn into a dog, man. That dude's a dog in the gym. That's one thing about his training when I watch him train. Even if he comes in a little bit heavy, he's always in the gym training. I know he does a lot of weightlifting type of stuff, but just get his cardio game right, man. Get back, get that midsection a little bit slimmer than that, man. Again, I don't know, maybe he had a shirt on under that shirt. I'm not sure, but it looks like his gut was bulging out just a little bit at the weigh-in. All right. Yes, I did hear what Barry Hearn said about the slave contract shit. To me, that was completely out of line. I know he's trying to use an analogy, man, but you could have came up with a way better analogy than that. All right. He could have came up with something better than that, man. I thought it was bullshit in my opinion. All right, but Oscar Rivas is one of, he's going to be in shape. He's never out of shape, man. He's always ready to go. The guy was the Olympian. He beat Pulev in the Olympics. That fight is still on YouTube. I'll get to the style breakdown when I break it down on my heavy bag. But this has writing on the wall to be a war, especially if Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte, I think, will come out using his jab, but once Oscar Rivas tries to engage into a fight, Dillian Whyte's not going to back down. That's just not who he is, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll come out pumping his jab at first, trying to get close to land his right hand and left hooks. And I think Rivas would be patient with his high guard and use his jab, but sooner or later it's going to turn into a phone booth fight. That's just what I believe about this one, man. But I'll break this one down later. But I can't wait for this fight, though. It's going to be a good fight. Yes, I did see Daniel Dubois get a victory this weekend over Richard Larte. Was it the fourth? Yeah, he won in the fourth round. Thought the fight could have continued, man. I thought Dubois was going to end up stopping him anyways, but pretty interesting fight those first couple rounds, though, dude, because Larte was landing some good right hands. They got into a few decent exchanges. Larte was getting caught and hit with stuff, but coming back, trying to fight back, clinching Dubois, even landed the right hand and made Dubois back up. You know what I mean? So it was good to see the kid get, face some type of adversity because, again, you're not going to just fight every fight downhill, man, where it's just cruise control, you're blowing everybody out. You'll do it coming up a little bit, but sooner or later, man, you're gonna face some adversity. So it's good to see these guys face some adversity, whether it's going the full 10 rounds with Kevin Johnson or getting in there with Richard Larte and he's landing good right hands on you that's making you back up a little bit, making you reset and go to a somewhat of a plan B. You dig what I'm saying? I did see some things that I didn't like as far as just breaking down style wise from Dubois. He has this thing where he backs up straight up with his chin up in the air, man. After he throws combinations or after he's in close, getting his work off, digging his hooks to the body and uppercuts and all that. Great work from him. But then when he pulls back, his chin is straight up in the air. You know what I mean? And Dillian Whyte, especially when I break down that fight with him and Oscar Rivas, Dillian Whyte is one guy that does a great job of catching guys when they're in close with him and they take a step back. He is one of the best guys at catching you with a left hook when you step back from engaging with him from close quarters. It's like he times it great. You dig what I'm saying? So little things like that, I think Dubois want to just work on. But for the most part, did what he had to do, man. There was some thing, there was some good and bad in that fight. All right. I like the fact that he was trying to be aggressive, trying to get Larte out of there and stop him. I do like the fact when he got caught, he did take a step back, regain his composure and get back to fighting. Glad he just didn't stay in there when he was wobbled and off balance, trying to slug and brawl like that. So the kid did have the wherewithal to, take a step back, clear his head, get back on his jab. All right. Larte, like I said, man, he tried to fight as hard as he can. Just got overwhelmed down the stretch, but he has some bright spots in that fight, and I do think the fight was stopped a little bit early, but I thought Dubois was on his way to stopping him. All right. But, he made some stands here and there in the fight, and he tried to fight Dubois off of him. You know what I mean? He was showing Dubois some different looks. Sometimes he'll have the high guard up. Then he went Larry Holmes mode and, had the jab hand down by his waist and pumping it from there. He was showing him different looks, trying to, mix it up on the kid. But Dubois did what he had to do. All right. F.A. Ajagba, I seen his fight against Michiel. Then my man F.A. Ajagba also picked up a victory over the weekend here. He beat Michiel Wallace, man. Wallace was a guy that, I think on my last video, I said I did a prospect watch video on Wallace 2 years ago. But when I looked it up, I actually did a prospect watch video on Wallace 3.5 years ago, man. So he's a guy I've been keeping an eye on. He has stepped up his last 2 fights, and he's came up on the losing end. All right. He stepped up against Christian Hammer, took a L, and F.A. Ajagba, and he just lost again. All right. But Ajagba looks great fighting downhill. He's another guy I just want to see more of, man. Just want to see more of him. It's hard to really, from the outside looking in, he looks the part. 6'5", 85-inch reach, 240 pounds of solid muscle. He looks the part, man. But they're just like Dubois. There are things there that's like, I really don't see a lot of head movement. And again, maybe it's just right now he doesn't have to show all that. I know sometimes fighters, they don't show everything on their way up. They're probably just in cruise control or just doing plan A until they have to get to a plan B, C, D, so on and so forth. All right. But right now, just coming forward, landing big, jabs, right hand, left hooks, overpowering guys, walking them down with the jab, staying in front of them. Doesn't have a lot of head movement. Again, maybe it's something that's there that he's just not showing right now. But he's a guy that likes to go high guard, absorb, and, his offense right now is his defense. You know what I mean? Or his defense is his offense, rather. His defense is his offense. When you try to put something on him, the way he defends is putting a jab, big right hand on you. You know what I mean? He tries to punch with you to get you to take a step back and then put you back on the defensive as he comes forward, all right? So that's what I see right now from him, man. It's just kind of hard to say, hard to gauge right now, but as far as looking the part, he damn sure looks the part. You know what I mean? I can definitely say that, man. Where Michelle Wallace goes, I have no idea. Probably, rack up a few journeyman victories before he steps back up. Maybe he can fight Tom Schwartz or Ajagba down the line sometime, man. Darmani Rock also picked up a victory. Another guy, man, he beat Mike Bassett, second round TKO. He's another young, talented heavyweight, man. Improved in the win column, still undefeated. One thing about Darmani Rock, man, is just his weight. The 275 pounds sticks out to me, being that he weighed a lot less when he first turned pro, and he just continues just to gain weight every fight. You know what I mean? Good hand speed, good fundamentals, great skill level. He was a guy that we thought that was going to represent us in the 2016 Rio Games, but he ended up losing in the Olympic qualifiers, or the Olympic trials, I'm sorry, to Marlo Moore out of the Bay Area. Virgil Hunter trained Marlo Moore. With Rock Nation, young guy, he has all the fundamentals. It's just about his weight, in my opinion, just getting his weight down. I think he'd be in better physical shape, and I think him being this heavy may hinder him once he steps up in competition. Maybe it'll make him fatigue down the stretch. It's easy, it's a lot easier when you're fighting journeyman level guys to get your work off, be a little bit overweight, and still win fights. You know what I mean? Can he perform at this weight at a high level? Maybe he can. I mean, Adam Kownacki doesn't have a bodybuilder for physique, right? There's a lot of guys that have fought that didn't have bodybuilder physiques. You know what I mean? But they had the skill set to maintain and have success. You know what I mean? So maybe he's cut from that cloth. I don't know, but I think he'll give himself a better chance to win if he shows up in a lot better shape. Just my opinion on outside looking in. I think Darmani Rock is a very talented kid, man. Vlad Sirenko, I saw his fight on YouTube, and he put this dude to sleep, man. This Leandro Rabuti dude, Daniel Rabuti, put him to sleep with the right hand, left hook combination. It's on YouTube. Knocked the guy out. Dude was face first. He was kind of on his side, but kind of face first, man. Knocked the dude out brutally. Again, he's another guy, very talented young dude. He's in a lot of training camps, Povetkin and Anthony Joshua and all these training camps, trained by James Lee Bashir. Good speed, strong, good fundamentals. Again, just fighting downhill. All these guys look the part fighting downhill, man. So it's kind of hard to gauge these guys. But again, just from the outside looking in, his first, 10 fights, looks the part.